Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're going to take a quick tour of the 2022 GMC Sierra. This is the SLT Texas edition. You'll find the badging back here with the X31 logo as well. A lot of great features here, a lot of great functionality. What exactly are you getting for $65,170? Well, let's take a quick look and see exactly what that is. And taking a quick look from this position, exterior color is onyx black, dark slate and walnut is what you will find in the interior, and we'll take a close look at that shortly. Here on the front end, LED everywhere you look. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and LED fog lights. And down there on the lower portion of the bumper, that is one thing that's changed. That's where you're going to find your fog lights. Now, the design of the front grille also changing. You're going to find that here on this particular model, there is a lot of chrome, not only with this front grille, the front bumper, but just all over the vehicle. The mirror caps, going to have those turn signal indicators built in to these power adjustable and power folding side view mirrors, 20-inch wheels with those side steps there permanently affixed. So those aren't going to be the power side steps, but that's okay. Going to save you a little bit of money if this is the truck you want to buy. And something I really like here, it gives you kind of that sure-footedness experience when it comes to hopping into the bed without lowering the multi-pro tailgate that we're about to take a closer look at. But you have the bumper step right here, one on each side, a lot of space to put your foot. Unless you have huge feet, you're going to be sure-footed right there. So let's talk about exactly what the multi-pro tailgate is. It's quite the multitasker, to say the very least. So let's start here. There is your built-in picnic table, or whatever you need. You can use that for setting up your phone on a tripod or something like that for internet meetings or whatever the case may be. But there's so much more here than just that capability. You can also raise this area up right here, and you've created a bed extender. And there's actually two different ways to do that. I'll show you the second way in just a second. This model doesn't have it, but you can get the built-in speakers into the bed, or into the tailgate, I should say, if you want that. So now we just see, well, the conventional way of using the tailgate, but that's not all. Not that I mean to sound like an infomercial. Here is the second way that you can use the bed extender option right there, as you can see. And then let me do one more thing here. Here is something you might want to invest in. Let's say that you had this area open right here, and then you opened the tailgate with the remote and you had a hitch in the receiver down there. Well, obviously that could cause some problems. There is an option you can get from the dealership. I'm sure you can probably order it online too, but it goes right here. It's basically a hitch cover, but what happens is when it's wired in, when you open that cover up, the truck senses that, and you can't open the tailgate and do any damage like that. So, just so you know. Now, let's talk a little bit more about what is here. I'm gonna hit the button one more time here. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. So we're gonna do this. Now you have the step right here. And the good thing is, you might say, well, that's great, but I need something to grab onto. Well, guess what? That is right here. GMC thought of that. You're good. It's easy to hop in and out. I know since I'm having to film today by myself, it's kind of hard to show you all of this, but as you can see, it was really easy for me to hop in, and it's really easy to hop back out. And by the way, you've got the graphite sprayed down on here, kind of a grip tape like material, so you can use that for being sure-footed. That's always a good thing. And within the bed, there's multiple tie downs, as you can see. You've got actually three here on front and back on both sides. So obviously a total of 12. You have LED in-bed lighting. Let's see here. Let's see if we can give you a good view of at least where the lights are located on both sides, not only on that side, but this side as well. It's going to be hard to see that in this bright light. One other thing, I'm really surprised that outside of these GMCs and the Chevrolets, that other truck makers haven't caught on to this. I'm so glad that GMC didn't do away with this with the changes they made for 2022 on these trucks. If you notice, I haven't told you what you can tow and what your payload numbers are. All of that is found here. And the thing about that is that gives you all the information to plug in the numbers to know well, how much you can tow. Let's just say 7,900 pounds is the max towing, or 9,900 pounds, or whatever the case is. That doesn't mean in all situations and in all conditions that's what you can do. Those stickers will help you to understand, depending on your payload compared to what you're towing and what it weighs, or how many people are in the truck, and all that information. Well, that's going to tell you how to figure all of that out. Under the hood of this model is the 6.2 liter V8. Plenty of horsepower at 420. It makes 460 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. MPGs, 15 miles per gallon city, 20 out on the highway, 17 combined. And according to GMC, per every 100 miles you drive, you should use 5.9 gallons of gas. And a quick look at the door panel, just so you can see. What does that dark walnut and slate look like? Well, now you know. Something else. There are a couple of things here I'm really surprised we haven't seen other truck makers catch on to yet, including the in-seat storage right there. You can also raise the seats themselves to reveal more storage underneath there. There's where you're going to find the tire iron and everything needed to change a tire. You can obviously raise up both sides of the 60-40 split right here. And nobody is going to go thirsty back here. That's a fact, because you've got a drink holder built in right there into the door bin. You have two more right here, and then that's a total of 4. And now you have 2 more. That makes 6. Nobody is going to be thirsty. Armrest right there for when nobody's riding in this middle seat area back here in the rear. A lot of space. I'm going to tell you what, at 5'10", let me sit straight up. I have tons of space. I am going to be very comfortable sitting back here. Anybody who sits back here is going to be nice and comfortable. Enjoy the ride. You've got your air conditioning vents there. Heated seats, something we don't need right now. That's a fact here in Northwest Louisiana, at least in the middle of the month of April. And connectivity. And let's see here. Let me see if I can do this without making the shot too shaky, hopefully. But there is the sunroof. Kind of surprised we are not seeing a panoramic sunroof as of yet. And last but not least, the front seat of the interior. Here is everything you'll find on the driver's side door. There is seat memory right here. Lock and unlock, all the power window functionality right here. Power windows, or excuse me, power mirror functionality. And right here, I'm gonna push this button and watch what happens. I told you those were power folding side view mirrors, and they are. And for those of you who want to see me in the video today, well, there I was for just a second. And so here is some of the change for 2022. The controls for the headlights and all the lighting around the vehicle and the mode selector, all of this used to be up here. That's changed. Obviously the design of the dash overall has changed. Power seats for the driver and the passenger. And we'll hop on inside here and hit the button to fire everything up, just so you can see what all happens as that comes to life. And a quick look at the digital display here for the driver. Very tastefully done. I think GMC did a great job. I really don't expect anybody to say anymore that this interior looks antiquated, at least not the dashboard. It'll be interesting to hear what all of your feedback is on these vehicles as far as what your thoughts are. We have got so much information here as far as what you can go through. I'm not going to go through every single little detail, but I will show you a little bit of what's here. I like the fact that you can put that digital speedometer in the middle, or if you're looking at something else, it goes right up there to the top. So that helps a lot. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls. That hasn't really changed a whole lot. Voice commands. Here's your cruise control. Everything pretty simple to figure out as far as that goes. But here's something that sure changed. That 13.4 inch touchscreen. Very nice, very large. And if you're wondering, what about the navigation? Is it built in, or do you have to use your phone? Well, I just gave you the answer on that right there. Very nice, very easy to use. I like the size of that screen. You just can't beat that. Chevrolet and GMC trucks are doing such a great job now with what they have here. So let's take a quick look at what you have here. Obviously a lot of functionality for trailering, for towing, a lot of information that you can use here, even if you want to manage your cameras right there. If you have cameras mounted for your trailering, well, obviously you can take care of managing all of that right there. Let's see if we can get that to work. Don't have a phone connected right now, but obviously you can connect your phone. That goes without saying. Control your radio functionality. And here's something that I really like. I'm going to go into reverse first, and we'll take a look at what's going on behind us. And there are multiple camera views available here. There are cameras all around this truck. You've got the overhead view. You've got the view from the side view mirrors to kind of let you see into your blind spot area. That is nice, but I'm going to go back into park. And here's the thing I like. If you don't want to look at the cameras in reverse, well, all you have to do is hit that button right there. We have the front view camera. That's obviously there. And then all of the other cameras that we already looked at are there as well. You can X out of that when you need to. Tell you what, I'm impressed with what GMC has done here. If you don't know how to get home for some reason, well, there's your button to do that. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just hit this, and then I'll show you that in action just so you can see. There's the knob for controlling the radio functionality and a whole lot of features right here. I don't have to tell you what all that is, but it's all there. You can control quite a few things. Dual zone climate control. There is the button for starting and stopping the engine. And you can see right here that I have the ventilated seats on. Wow, do we need that today? It's a little bit on the warm side. And then you do have heated seats as well, but we don't need to have that on today. Your dual zone climate control, got that set on low. That tells you how warm it is outside. You can sync those together if you want to. And you might say, well, wait a minute, that truck at the price point doesn't have wireless charging? Well, yeah, actually it does. It's right here. It's in a completely different place. Let's see if I can get my phone to come on. Let me get that in there just right. In fact, it's a lot easier if I open, well, the center console to show you what's there. Now you can see that. In fact, we'll take a quick look at the center console before we look at what may be one of the most controversial changes to these trucks for 2022. Nice deep console. As you can see, that tray is removable. You have the power outlet right there. You also have more connectivity over here. But what exactly is that potentially controversial change? It's going to be the shifter right here. Tell me what you think about that. Some of these car or truck makers may be trying to copy what Ford did with theirs. Now this one doesn't fold down or anything like that, but it is here. Do you like it? Would you rather see a push button shifter up here on the dashboard area or a column shifter? Tell me what you think about that, because I know a lot of you really prefer the column shifter right here. And controls on the upper console up here for controlling that power rear window, the power sliding window, and the functionality of that power sunroof that we talked about earlier. But the main thing I'm curious about is, how does this truck handle out on the road? I haven't driven one of these 22 models yet. Let's hop out on the road and find out. All right. As we get out onto the road for our test drive, one thing you might say is, Tom, you didn't tell us what the modes are, the driving modes are. You showed us the mode selector, but you left us hanging on what the modes are. Okay, you have normal, you have sport, and you have off-road. I am currently driving in normal. Got a couple of vehicles in front of me here. I expect them both to merge here, but maybe the Camaro is not going to, so I can't get up too fast here. But I can tell you right now, even in normal mode, this truck is accelerating with no problem whatsoever. I mean, 420 horsepower, I'm going to tell you what, that is plenty of power to get your truck down the road. Now, I will try and switch into sport mode later on and see if I can tell a difference, but right now is just not the time. And obviously, well, I hate to say it, but I can't use off-road mode. It would be kind of fun to do that, I have to admit. But in this particular case, well, it's just not possible. Now, one thing I like to do on these test drives in vehicles like this is to give kind of a real-world experience, not just get out on the highway and just drive. So we're going to drive through a neighborhood right here. So we're going to cruise on down the road here, and you know, I really enjoy driving these trucks, and be it that I have owned several full-size trucks in my lifetime, these trucks are super easy to drive. Maybe somebody's driving one for the first time, or maybe the wife has to borrow it or something like that, and they're thinking, whoever it is thinking, man, I don't know if I want to drive something that big. It's not really that bad. This truck is actually very easy to get used to as far as its size goes. What about ride quality? Well, it's a truck. It's going to have a little bit of that truck-like ride quality, but I tell you what, trucks don't ride like they used to, no matter what brand you're talking about. These GMCs, they ride pretty well. I'm not going to say that it's the Cadillac smooth experience, but I tell you what, it's not going to beat you to death and make you think to yourself, wow, did I loosen the fittings in my teeth driving over that bump back there? And keep in mind, I know not all cities are as bad as the roads are around here. The roads in all cities are not as bad as they are here in Northwest Louisiana. Louisiana's kind of known for that, unfortunately. So if I'm telling you that the truck doesn't ride that badly, well, that means that a lot of places where the roads are properly maintained, well, you're going to be in even better shape. And just driving through the corner right there, it is a truck. It's going to have a little bit of body roll to it, all that kind of stuff, but it's not bad. It's very well balanced. It's really comfortable. I'm really impressed with what we have here. Okay, I am now in sport mode, and I actually did a little experiment to see what the difference was between normal and sport, just kind of on the fly, and I could really tell a difference in how the engine was behaving. And I can tell that the truck gets down the road a little bit better than it did otherwise in normal mode. It's not meant to be high performance, so obviously it's not going to just plant you back in the seat like a high performance sports car or anything like that. But when I was driving in normal and switched to sport just on the fly, well, I could tell that the engine RPM was coming up a little bit faster. The transmission seemed to be working a little more freely than it was before, if that makes sense. Just so you know, kind of to give you a well-rounded test drive based on my experience from the driver's seat. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.